For studies in Belgium, there are two major ways to show proof of funds. The first way is to show a block account with a certain amount of money. The second way is to show sponsor or to show sponsorship. I'll discuss all of this in this video. So while you're watching, do like, share, subscribe, and keep watching. So let's talk about the first one, number one. The first one is to show block account. What is block account? Block account is an account you have to open, or the school where you have gotten admission to study in Belgium would open in your name in Belgium. All right, they'll open it before your arrival, and this account is not going to be empty. You from your home country, you have to transfer a certain amount of money into that account. The school is going to tell you the amount of money or funds to transfer to that account, so that at your arrival or after your arrival, you settle in Belgium, these funds will be shared with you or sent to you monthly for your living expenses. I hope you understand that. So you're going for undergraduate, you're going for your master's, and you want to use block account to show proof of funds, then it is the same process. The school will let you know the amount for you to transfer and other necessary documents you need to send for this application for block account to pull through. Okay, so this is usually done after you must have gotten admission to study in any of the institutions they have in Belgium. Okay, so whether it's public institution, whether it's private institution, once you have received your admission letter, the next thing before your visa application is to find out how you're going to show proof of funds. So if it's block account, then this is the explanation to this, and this process sometimes it takes about 1, 2, 3 weeks, depending on how fast the school and you also is able to send this document, and also the bank that you are dealing with is going to also make the transfer on your behalf. For some people, they had encountered issues trying to send this money or make a transfer of this money. They've actually asked a family or a friend abroad to do that for them, so that it's faster, and then it will also aid. There's a particular document you're going to get so that you can affix it or join it together with your visa documents or visa processing documents before you put in your visa application. I hope this is clear. So once you get your admission and you discover that it is block account, you have the money to open this block account, then you start the process, because you need these documents that will be sent back to you for your visa application. I hope this is clear. So the second one is, or the second method to show proof of funds, is to show a sponsor. Why am I doing this video like the second time? The first video I did, or I uploaded on this channel with regards to proof of funds for studies in Belgium, was case study of about 2 or 3 universities, and a lot of people still sent messages for clarification, and that is why we are also doing this video, to help clarify or to make explanation easy for people who are still in search of this information. So for the second method, which is to show proof of funds, which is the sponsorship method, all right, this is where you need to show a sponsor. Okay, someone who can actually show that they are your sponsor while you study, especially within your first year of your studies in Belgium. So this person has to show that they can sponsor you or stand as your sponsor in your first year of your studies in Belgium. Now, who can this sponsor be? The person can be your family member, it can be a friend. However, this person must meet a certain criteria. One of the criteria or factors to be considered again before this person can be your sponsor is the fact that the person must also be earning a particular amount of money, or a certain amount of money after tax, before the person can be able to be accepted or certified by the Belgium embassy to become your sponsor during your year of your studies in Belgium. Now, I'm making this very clear because a lot of people have presented sponsors in the past. After tax, the sponsor's income was not up to the amount stipulated by the Belgium embassy or what they see on the website. So after you checked that the person is either a citizen or a permanent resident from one of the European countries, the next is to check the amount this person earns after tax. And then another factor to check is how many dependents the person has or the person is living with, where they are living at the moment of your application. So if the person has just one child, take for example, the amount the person must be earning, they will also deduct the living expense for that child and that person before they can say this is the amount the person has, and that amount must be the exact amount or higher than what the Belgian embassy is trying to look at. All right, so take for example, if the amount the person has to be earning in a month, all right, it should be about 3,000 euros after tax. So take for example, the person has one child, so they deduct the money or the funds for living expenses of that child in a month, deduct the person's living expense, and also to find out how much is remaining for you, who they want to sponsor while you study in Belgium. I hope that makes sense. So if the person is having 2 children or 3 children, have in mind that the person must earn more than 3,000 euros in a month after tax. More than that before the person can be certified to be your sponsor. If the person does not earn up to that, the fact that the person is a citizen, the fact that the person is a permanent resident, it doesn't mean the person can be certified to be your sponsor. All right, because once after the person signs the Annex 32 documents and sends it to the Belgium embassy where the person resides, together with every other document that the embassy will be requesting from them, there'll be a day the person goes to sign. All right, the only time the person goes to sign is when they see that the person is certified, has met all the criteria that they're looking at, before the next document can be sent to the person and the person sends down to you before you can now proceed for your study visa to Belgium. Still on the sponsorship discussion, right? So if your sponsor is outside Europe, okay, outside any of the Schengen countries, all right, the person has to be a family member. They stated there on the website, they stated there that the person has to be from first generation. So it could be your father, your mother, your brother, your sister, relatives that are very close to you, because you have to submit a proof of family ties. Okay, maybe birth certificate or something that shows that there's a relationship, all right, direct relationship you have with this person, maybe from your father's side, maybe from your mother's side. This is to clarify that if you have to use any sponsor outside Europe, outside in any country in the Schengen area, the person has to be a family member, the person has to be permanent resident or citizen of that country. Then the person has to earn a certain amount of money, and they will also check how many dependents, children, sibling that is living with the person. And then some of the documents this person is going to be submitting in the Belgium embassy of the country. Say, take for example, the person does not reside or live in Belgium and the person lives in Portugal or Germany or any country, France, all right, there is usually a Belgium embassy in that country. Okay, so some of the documents that the person would submit are bank statements. Some embassies will require 3 months pay slips backwards. Take for example, the sponsor is trying to apply for you or trying to submit the affidavit, that is Annex 32 documents, all right, in June. So count 3 months behind. Before June are the pay slips showing the amount of money the person is earning before tax, after tax. The embassy is going to look at the amount after tax. That's what they look at. They don't look at before tax, they look at after tax. So some people have not been fortunate to be able to go ahead with a certain sponsor because after tax the money was not complete. All right, but before tax the person is earning that amount of money, but after tax wasn't complete, so the embassy did not certify the person to become student sponsor. The student has to go ahead to look for another sponsor. It's very important to take note of this. Another document they might require the person to submit is the house evidence. The name they call it, each country has their name, the name of the document, the name that they call that document, was evidence or house document to show that this person lives in so place. Another document they will require the person to submit, most of the countries will require the person to submit, is proof of work, all right, employment letter, employment documents. Sometimes they even require them to submit their ID card, their work ID card. I have actually seen some subscribers talk about that, and they said that's part of what the embassy required their sponsor to submit. So work evidence is part of the things that they might require or they will require your sponsor to submit. But that payslip is usually one of the important things that they require. Then employment letter and recommendation letter, or a document from the office stating that the person actually works there and the number of years the person has been working there. It's very important. All right, and then a passport, that is a travel passport. So another important information is if you are not sure of all the documents your sponsor has to submit. Take for example, your sponsor is in France. There's a Belgium embassy in France or a Belgium embassy in Germany. If your sponsor is from Germany, for example, you as the student, you have to go to your Google, type Belgium embassy in Germany or Belgium embassy in France. Go to the page and check out sponsorship or the link to sponsorship for studies in Belgium. You will see all the information there. You also see the document your sponsor needs to provide. So if you don't have, take for example, if they've listed 7 documents and your sponsor just has 5 at the moment, he or she cannot submit the annex 32, because after getting all these documents, there is a form or a document your sponsor has to submit, fill, handwritten, and submit with all the documents, then send to the Belgium embassy in that country on your behalf, together with your admission letter. It's very important. So looking for a sponsor or trying to have a block account, it's usually done after you've gotten admission to study in Belgium, because your admission letter is part of the documents you will submit. So if you're going with a sponsor or sponsorship, your admission letter is also part of the documents you will be submitting. So therefore, you need to send your admission letter together with your international passport and every other details or documents you find on the website of the Belgium embassy in the country where your sponsor resides. Do not forget that if your sponsor is outside Europe, the person must be a family member. If your sponsor is in Europe, the person does not necessarily have to be a family member. Please take that as the most important part of this, so that you don't waste time waiting for the embassy. Some embassy will not get back to the sponsor, especially if the sponsor does not meet up to the criteria, until your sponsor writes them. These are some of the things from experience that we have seen from some subscribers of this channel. So before we wrap up this video, if you're still finding this video very useful, do like, share, subscribe if you're new here. Thank you. Before you think of applying to Belgium to study undergraduate, masters, please plan how you show your proof of funds, whether the block accounts method or through sponsorship. All right, before you go ahead to apply to study in Belgium, there are a list of universities have done step-by-step application to the schools, and many more will might do. So if you're interested in studying in Belgium, check out our playlist on studies in Belgium. You can find some useful videos there, step-by-step, on how to put in your application. On the other side, if you have questions, do leave it in the comment section. Send us an email if it's so important. If you want a one-on-one consultation, you can also send an email, right? But I feel that this video is detailed enough. If it's not still clear, send your questions, put it in the comment section, let's discuss. If you have any other information, send an email, we will reply at our free time. So don't forget the steps: get admission to study in institution in Belgium, put in for your block account or sponsorship, and then apply for your visa to study in Belgium. That is the step to follow before you arrive Belgium. Thank you for watching. Do like, share, subscribe. Bye for now.